Alright, so Apocalypse of the Gods chapter number 14, and this is actually a really good chapter. Wasn't really expecting it from the leaks we got, but this is a damn good chapter. So, as I told you guys in the leak video, there's going to be a small little backstory for Suzaku, but we do go back to the fighting, and it's pretty hype. Before that though, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to drop a like on this video so you're more likely to be recommended to the channel in the future so you don't miss any content like this. Also, shout out to the members who have continued to support the channel. I appreciate all of you. Now let's get into it. So the first thing we see is this narration that says Valhalla is the place where all the gods live together. Here we see Sukhavati, the heavenly place of Buddhism, Eden, Olympus, and Takamagahara. Takamagahara is the Shinto pantheon, is where Susanoo is from. We saw it in his backstory. Interestingly enough, no Asgard here when they show these heavenly places, but Valhalla is a place of beauty and plenty, with many of them. It is a place where the high rank gods reside. We see this picture of a god and goddess. We don't know who these people are though. We see narration that says the purity of the heavens, and in contrast, we see this. So even in the homeland of the four gods, the land of the Chinese pantheon, there was a place where the high rank gods resided, and separated from that was where the four gods resided. So the place where the high rank gods resided is called Shangdi. So it'll be interesting if they go further deeper into this as this tournament goes on, because obviously Wukong's from here as well. This place looks really almost like dystopian. It's like one big tower of supreme technology and then all these other slums around it. And the place where the lesser gods and low rank gods live is called Morio Town. And Morio just refers to like general spirits. And the low rank gods scraped and struggled endlessly here. Between those two worlds, there was an unmistakable, unfillable gap. We then see young Suzaku. He gets confronted by this god of pestilence, Gyukuki, who says, "Don't you know the rules of Morio Town, outsider? No disobeying the strong gods. Got it?" Suzaku says, "Huh? That's a good rule. I like it." This other god attacks him and says, "You brat." And he tells his men to get him and jump him alongside him. We then see the rest of the four gods, who weren't officially called the four gods at this time, but they're watching from one of the rooftops nearby. Tortoise says, "That outsider, he's got some guts, huh?" As Suzaku continues to fight these three other gods. Dragon says, "Shall we bet? Who do you think will win?" And Tiger says, "Nah, I got a better idea," as Suzaku's being choked in one arm. Tiger jumped into the fight and launched a kick on Gyukuki, helping Suzaku, but it really didn't matter because Gyukuki's group defeated all four of these gods together. He said, "You brats, you really thought you could beat me with a sneak attack? Don't forget, trash will always be trash," and they start walking away. All the four gods have taken pretty significant damage here, and Suzaku says, "Why did you guys all help me?" Tiger says, "We weren't helping you. Those guys have always just pissed us off. That's it." Suzaku says, "I see. That's a good answer. I like it. You guys, join up with me." The other gods are like, "What?" And Suzaku starts walking toward where Gyukuki and his men went and says, "Let's go." Tiger says, "Let's go. Go where?" And Suzaku says, "Their movements, I've already got the gist of it." The other gods are confused. They're thinking, what is this man talking about? And then it cuts back to Suzaku now running back up to these guys and fighting them again. And now he's got the upper hand on them, and he apparently defeated them, seemingly single-handedly. Narration says, from the beginning, something about him was clearly a cut from a different cloth. They had a hunch that if they joined up with him, he'd take them anywhere they could imagine. Not just in Morio Town, but anywhere. So this is apparently what spurred them joining him and becoming his subordinates, I guess. It's apparently just his rapid adaptation within battle. So when he fights people, he gets his ass beat for a while, but then as long as he's still kicking, he can basically analyze and break down their movements, break down their fighting style. So what he said earlier in the tournament makes a lot of sense, right? This is why he wanted to come fight Indra. He saw all these other strong fighters before, and he's like, you know what? The way I am now, I'm going to lose to these people. I need to fight stronger opponents, because he's going to keep getting stronger from doing it. Because that's kind of just how his ability works. It might have something to do with his eye. We don't really get that explained. We're now cutting back to the actual fight. It was as if it was just a matter of course. I'm not sure if that's a mistranslation. It might just be a matter of routine or something. But they're referencing Suzaku slashing down Indra and basically, comparing that to what he did back then, where it's a situation where he clearly analyzed Indra was getting beat down, but now it seems like he's taking the upper hand. All the gods that are watching are surprised except for Tiger, who's got a smirk on his face, as Suzaku says the word prick. He might be calling Indra that. I'm not sure. Again, is that a mistranslation? I'm not sure. But Indra is hurt. Suzaku thinks to himself, just barely, but still, your technique, I've already seen through it. He said that part aloud. He then calls back the shuriken from Indra's back that were stuck in his back to his arm. Serious wounds on Indra all over, the strike down his chest, bleeding from his mouth at this point. Suzaku's still battle damaged pretty severely too from the earlier encounters of the fight. But Yara says speed is known as the lightning god's domain, but Suzaku just absolutely crushed that god's speed. So they're trying to hype this up like Suzaku outsped Indra here. We obviously know the context behind what happened. I broke it down in the last breakdown. But Yara continues and says, this is the leader of the 4 gods, Suzaku. Zeus comments and says, ho ho, the rumors don't lie. It really is an interesting weapon. That crimson ripple chirping phantom sword. That's obviously Suzaku's divine weapon. And Hermes says, thinks to himself, those shuriken he seemed to have dodged, but they managed to reroute themselves for a second attack. So I pointed this out in my breakdown last month. He initially did dodge them and then was caught off guard by the shuriken, which probably led for the opening of Suzaku landing his attack. To defend against that your first time seeing it, that will be difficult. Further reinforcing he was probably caught off guard there. Although, and he trails off a bit. We then cut to Shiva's group where Varna is saying for Indra to get hit by a surprise attack like that, it's ridiculous. So they're kind of pissed off. Shiva thinks to himself, Indra, just what the hell happened to you? That almost implies like he thinks he's weaker, or maybe he's just saying, what the hell happened to you right now? Like he didn't even register what transpired either. You can interpret that how you want, but Indra is bleeding pretty profusely here. It's streaming all the way down his arms, down his chest, everything. Suzaku's staring him down and he's muttering to himself, he's still standing. The match is overwhelmingly in my favor, but I won't let my guard down for an instant, and he launches the shuriken back at Indra once more. Now, Indra's lightning effect does seem to alert him here. The crackle goes off and he tries to evade it. He jumps to one of the pillars and he actually ends up behind Suzaku. Looks like Suzaku's kind of surprised, but one of the shuriken did land in Indra's shin, goes out the back, like where his Achilles is, and Indra looks like he's just straight up cooked in this moment. Suzaku looks awesome in this panel and says, I told you, didn't I? Your technique, I've already seen through it, understand? Yara is at a loss for words. She's like, what? Shiva, Brahma, the rest of them look extremely surprised at like Indra's lightning speed, and Ares says he already can't use it anymore. Indra's now concerned, thinking to himself, again, why is it that I can't react to an attack like this? Varna says, is he tired after fighting the others? And Brahma says, no, that's even more ridiculous. Indra's the kind of guy who gets stronger the longer the fight goes on. In a drawn out fight, he should be getting even sharper and faster. Hermes says that's it, although is such a thing even possible? No, in theory it should be impossible, but still. Ares says, Hermes, if you notice something, then quit muttering to yourself and spit it out. Hermes continues and says, Indra, he has a basic strategy for a surefire victory, his Vajra. Taking everything into account so far, that technique consists of moving and attacking. Vajra is composed of those two very simple techniques. In other words, the moving is his high-speed approach. And then he evades to set up his attack. No matter the situation, he always maintains the upper hand. Once he's entered your range, even though he strikes second, with that speed he's so proud of, his attack will always land first and he dominates. Hermes says it's simple, but that's exactly why he has polished it and sharpened it to its absolute limits. And yet, that technique, by its very nature, when he switches from moving to attacking, in that instant, in other words, the link between the two techniques, there's intrinsically the slightest gap. So the gap between moving and attacking. Ares says absurd, something like that, to call it a gap, that's... And Zeus says, a gap or a weakness? It may just be an instant and may be almost nothing, but if the timing is even the slightest bit off, then it can't be used to claim victory. And if you can seize that tiniest instant, if you can do it, if he can do it, then perhaps we took the god called Suzaku far too lightly. Amazing shot of Suzaku. This is one of the best panels we've had in this entire fight, of these two just staring each other down. Indra like darkened, standing there bloody, looking back at him. This fight is the best in this series so far, bar none. I'm 100% bought into this. Indra stands tall and he says, you're strong. He has a smile on his face and Suzaku calls it out. He's like, why are you smiling? And Indra tilts his head up toward the sky and says, I'm damn glad I entered this tournament. Seriously, to get to fight with a guy as strong as you, as I am right now, there's no way I can win against this guy. He thinks that part internally. Which means that right here, right now, I got no choice but to complete it. My incomplete third blade. Hype is real. Lightning is going all over the place around Indra. The aura is ridiculous. He's got another technique. Suzaku looks shocked. He says he's coming. This is unmistakably Indra's final attack. He's charging up all his lightning. He says, this technique, I came up with it in order to take down a certain guy. So this is the technique he has been saving for Shiva. We're going to see what this shit is all about, man. Is this shit truly worthy of putting him past Shiva? We're going to find out. He says, I guess you could call it my ace in the hole. Looks like a straight savage charging this shit up. Tortoise says, that technique, this is bad. There's no doubt about it. This will decide the match, says Dragon. Tiger says, I don't know what this ace is, but don't look down on our leader. So he's the one that's 100% like resolute. Suzaku's gonna find a fucking way to win. Suzaku then stands there ready to take it. He's got a smirk on his face and he says, bring it. And Indra, while he's still charging up, says, I'm bringing it for sure. And that's the end. But the last thing it says is the final clash, and the attack name is called Vajra Astra, but they don't show us the attack. This is the fucking cliffhanger of all cliffhangers, man. I'm not even gonna lie. This chapter, in my opinion, was better than the Ragnarok chapter this month. I really was shocked by this chapter, how good it was. I really enjoy this. I can't wait to see how this technique plays out. Who wins this fight? Let me know in the comments below who you think is going to win. Will Indra surpass Suzaku in these final moments, or will Suzaku find a way to adapt and get that dub? I'll catch you guys all in the preview and prediction videos. Thanks for watching. Peace.